Hello everybody, and welcome to my guide on the quickest way to catch a 4 IV Ditto, or if you want, a shiny 4 IV Ditto. This video will be broken down into 3 different segments. The setup process you need to do beforehand, which will take roughly about 15 minutes to complete, the chaining process, and then finally the catching process. The setup involves catching 3 different Pokemon beforehand, the first of which will be an Absol. If you go to the first patch of grass you find on your way up to Mount Lanakila, you will be able to encounter Absol at a 20% chance, and you want to make sure that Absol both has the ability pressure and is lower than level 45. The ability pressure increases the SOS call rate for the Ditto we will chain later on, and making sure it's under level 45 is so we guarantee that the Absol will know the move Night Slash, which is going to be our primary move for eliminating Dittos while we chain. If you find an Absol that does not meet this criteria, then just search for another one. Its encounter rate is high enough so that it won't take you too long to find an Absol that will work. Next, we will go to Mali City Outer Cape and search the grass for Trubbish. The encounter rate for Trubbish here is 30%, so it won't take you long at all to find one. After you do find and catch one, you want to check its ability and make sure that it is Stench and not Sticky Hold, as Sticky Hold will interfere with our chaining strategy later on. Then we have to travel to Pony Plains and move to the grass patch, which has a Pokemon running around in it. In this grass patch we'll be able to find a Hypno, which is our last important key Pokemon to catch. It has a 20% encounter rate in this grass, so again it shouldn't take too long to find. Hypno's ability is not as important as the other 2 Pokemon, so you can just catch the first Hypno you find. After you catch the Hypno, we can move on to getting our Pokemon ready for the chaining process. To get the Pokemon ready, we need to first go to the Pokemon Center on top of Mount Lanakila and speak to the move reminder. There are 2 moves we need to relearn. The first is Recycle for Trubbish, and the second is Switcheroo for Hypno. After this we're going to use a few TMs on our Pokemon, the first of which will be Thunder Wave on Hypno, and next will be both False Swipe and Substitute on Absol. The only TM that you might not have is Substitute, and you get it by talking to Professor Kukui in his house after you have completed the main game. At this point, Absol will be ready to go, and all we have to do is give Hypno a Leper Berry for him to be sorted out as well. One of the final steps is to visit the move deleter in Hau'oli City Pokemon Center, and delete all the moves from Trubbish except for Recycle. From here, Trubbish will be all set, and our last step is to get any weak Pokemon that we can use to make catching our Chain Ditto easier. It is recommended that this Pokemon is not an electric type, and knows at least 3 or 4 moves, so it won't struggle itself to death. I'll be using a Meowth, but lots of other Pokemon will also work for this role. I'm going through the summaries of all the Pokemon we need on our set, just so you can make sure you have everything correct. There are a few additional things we do need to do before starting the chain, and they are getting a lot of Leper Berries so we don't run out of PP on our moves, having some Adrenaline Orbs, turning off the EXP share and also turning off battle animations to make the chaining process go a lot faster. For this video, I did not turn off battle animations, but I really highly recommend you do, because it will save you a lot of time. With that, we are ready to go to Mount Hokulani and start looking through grass patches for a Ditto to chain. Ditto only has a 10% encounter rate here, so it might take you a while to find one, but when you do, we can start chaining. The first thing you want to do is switch out your lead Pokemon with the Trubbish. The opposing Ditto will then transform into the Trubbish, which only knows the move Recycle. From here we're going to switch to our Hypno and then use Switcheroo to give the Wild Ditto a Leper Berry. Now the Wild Ditto is locked into a state where it cannot hurt you and it can never struggle itself to death by running out of PP. Next we switch into our Absol and we set up a Substitute. The Substitute is to make sure that no support Dittos will be able to transform into Absol, and so you'll never have to worry about Absol getting damaged during your chaining. We then want to use Full Swipe and bring the Wild Ditto's HP down to 1. And lastly we activate an Adrenaline Orb. The Adrenaline Orb plus the ability pressure and the Ditto's low HP will result in a really high chance the Ditto will call for help. And now we can just keep fainting the support Dittos that are appearing while behind the Substitute, using Night Slash. As the PP on Absol's Night Slash gets low, simply just use your additional Leopard Berries to restore it. Now you can continue chaining up until 2 points. Either you go over a chain of 30 support Pokemon, or you find a Shiny Ditto, and whichever one is really your preference. If you're just looking to get a breeding Ditto, then as soon as you go over a chain of 30, you can catch that one, and it will be just fine. Either way, once you find the Ditto you want to catch, there are 3 things you need to do. I did slightly mess up the order of this, but you do want to full swipe the Ditto you want to catch until it's at 1 HP, and then you want to switch out to the weak Pokemon you selected before. After you do switch into your weak Pokemon though, you immediately want to switch out for your Hypno and paralyze the Ditto you want to catch. This is so after you faint the Caller Ditto, the Ditto you want to catch will have a lower chance of calling for help, which in turn will make it a lot easier for you to catch. Normally after you would isolate the Ditto, you can start throwing balls at it, but since I messed up, I'm going to switch back into my Absol and full swipe it down. And that is the most easy and accessible way to start chaining for 4 IB Dittos. It does require some paying attention, but other than that, it's really simple and quick to set up and get going. Before I end the video, I thought I'd show anyone who wanted to know where to find the judge so you can check the IVs of your Pokemon. He's located at the battle tree right beside the PC, but I believe you'll have to hatch 20 eggs before he'll give you the judge function to use. And if anyone was curious, here are the IVs on the Shiny Ditto I found. This one was caught after a chain of 66, as well as another Ditto that I caught right after a chain of 30, which didn't take too long to get to using this method. Thank you for watching, and I hope this guide has helped.